Hey everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing a really cool buggy by Feiyue here. This is a really cool red four-wheel drive buggy. I'll take a quick look at the box here. It's by, like I said, Feiyue. It's called the Desert Eagle, or Eagle Desert, however you want to say it, 7. It also comes in green. It's 1/12 scale. I believe the model number on this is the FY-07, and this is ready to run. This is not the brushless version. This is just the brushed version. I believe it's a 390 brushed motor running on this lithium-ion battery. I'll show you. But it comes with an awful lot of nice features. Some of these features here are for the brushless one because it talks about a 45 amp brushless ESC. You can see that here on the front, it's got the brushed motor here with a cooling radiator on it. The shocks for the front are laying sideways, or horizontal, but the rear shocks are vertical. It's got a slipper clutch in it, which is extremely rare for a car at this price range. This is not very expensive, $60, $70, I don't know the exact price. But you can adjust the slipper tension too if you take the top off, and that allows you to, of course, slipper clutch is going to help save the gears on accelerating really quickly or on jumps, so that it doesn't strip any gears in there. It's got a nice compound plastics it uses. And overall, really nice parts. An all metal differential, it says, and a high torque steering servo. So that's a big plus also. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on now and look at the car instead of just looking at the box. It's got the on and off switch here on the side, which is really easy to access. The battery slides in here in the back, and it goes underneath this plastic holder with a cotter pin. It's got, here's your shocks, obviously I said, in the back, and the front ones are a little hard to see laying horizontal in there. It's got the spare tire in the back. It seems to be made of a nice compound plastic. It's got your drive train here from the front to the back. The gearbox here for your rear steering, your rear wheels, I should say. And your front here has got dog bones going between the gearbox and each wheel. So it's a little bit different on the front, using the dog bones here. And then the back just has the, the universal drive shaft coming to the back, and then your enclosed drive shaft to the wheels in the back. They seem that the drive shafts are like a swing shaft here. They're a nice type of dog bone. They're not the just straight metal ones, so they're going to be a little more efficient and less likely to break. You do have to take off all these hex screws if you want to get into and take the top off to access the stuff like I showed you in the picture. So that does make it a little more difficult to work on. So that would be one of the few things I found about this buggy that might be a little bit of a con to some people, having to take it apart like that to get into the internals to do work. The buggy itself is pretty quick. It has a rather high center of gravity, so it does have a tendency to roll on me quite easily. So that's one thing to be mindful of. But overall, really well built. I don't know what the exact top speed. I'm thinking maybe around 20 miles an hour. I got a nice run time of around 20 minutes on this thing, so it has a nice long run time. It's overall a really nice buggy and really attractive looking buggy. Now I've got my Q6 Firefly action cam here mounted to the top, and I'm going to try to get some onboard footage. I just got a zip tie on it, so it's not super secure, and with it rolling a lot, I'm a little bit concerned, so I might not be driving full crazy with it. I don't want to damage my camera, but I'll give it a pretty good run. No worries about that. It comes with this 1500 milliamp 7.4 volt lithium ion battery. Uses a Dean's connector. Of course, here's your balance plug, so I use a hobby grade charger to charge it up a lot quicker than the stock one. Like I said, about 20 minutes run time, so not a bad battery by any means. Here is the stock charger, and of course it just charges off the balance plug, so you do at least get a good balance of the cells. And this takes several hours to charge. The little light will go from red to green, let you know when it's green, it's fully charged. Comes with some spare parts here. It comes with a little universal wrench for taking the wheels off. It comes with some Allen wrenches, extra cotter pins. And it comes with several extra pinion gears, which is really cool. I don't know which size is in here. The instruction manual mentions each one of these. I forgot to make a note of that. But there's slightly different number of teeth on each one of these. So you could actually go in there, swap the, take the butt screw out, swap these, and you could change, the top speed or the acceleration by depending on how many teeth you want to use on the pinion gear. So that's extremely rare on a buggy that's still really toy class, in my opinion, to have extra pinion gears of different sizes, teeth count. That's what we used to get back in the day on the kit cars, and you could of course you wanted to have one that was either quick off the go but maxed out fast, or you wanted one that was a little slower off the start line but had a higher top speed. So that's what that gives you, those options. The instruction manual, I usually don't go over that, but it's really nice because it's got this exploded view of telling you how to disassemble and reassemble it. So that's really, really helpful, because this buggy is nice enough with the slipper clutch and all the parts that you could you may very well want to do some repairs. And of course the other versions of this car, including there's a 6-wheel buggy version here of it. I think you could probably upgrade this thing to brushless. You just would need to upgrade the motor and the ESC, and you may have to put a different receiver in. I don't know. It shows a nice aftermarket, a receiver in this, but that may be for the brushless version. I don't know if this one has a receiver that would be compatible, or easy, I should say, easy to wire into an aftermarket brushless upgrade. The controller is really, really nice also. You've got your, it's got two different rates on the acceleration, 50-50 and 70-30. But when you go to 50-50, it moves the accelerator forward, or backward I should actually say, a little bit. This limits the top speed for a kid. The problem though is the car creeps forward when I do that, and there's no throttle trim, so I can't trim it up to stop it from rolling forward. So I can't, on mine, I can't use the 50-50. There's only steering trim and steering limiter if you want to limit how much it steers, which might be helpful for a kid, or because this rolls over so easy, it certainly would be not a bad idea. You see, I don't have it all the way up. To limit the steering a little bit, it won't be so sharp, so it'll be a little bit less likely to roll, though you're still going to roll it. Another neat feature is, I'm right-handed, as most people are. It's got the phone grip here, but if you're left-handed, you just press this in, and there you go, you go to a left-handed. I've seen this in some of them, but it's not real common, but that's really nice. My daughter is left-handed, so I let her drive it, and it was nice that I could switch it right over for her left hand. So really nice controller. Overall, just a ton of nice components for a car that's well under $100. I mean, I'm impressed by that. It's got full ball bearings, so nice long run time, and it has a nice strong servo in there. It seems to be well built, so really, really cool car. So I think we covered everything on this aspect. So let's go ahead and we'll take out the Firefly here and get some picture-in-picture, some onboard footage, and take it out and show you how it drives. So we'll be right back. All right, so I have the Desert Eagle here bound up on the back of my car. I wanted to make sure it's hard to see in the light that my Q6 camera is on. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording with the Q6, and it is recording. So let's go ahead and put it down. We'll take it out now for a test drive. See, it's pretty quick, and it brakes really well too. And it's got four-wheel drive, so it has good power, and that lithium ion really gives that brush motor a good kick compared to the old nickel cadmium packs. There's top speed, pretty fast. Like I said, I think probably around 20 miles an hour. One thing you'll notice here is pretty cool is it tends to ride wheelies. Let's see if I can get it to do it. See, it rides a wheelie, even though it's four-wheel drive. It still will ride a wheelie, but it tends to kind of ride a wheelie. Let's see if I can get it into field of view off to one side a little bit. Yeah, it kind of lifts up the front right a little more than the left. But that's pretty impressive for a brushed motor that goes this quick to have that much of that much torque whenever you first give it gas, to really punch it like that. See, there it kind of got up on 2 wheels. Just like I said, it's pretty easy to roll it. I said I don't have anything protecting the camera on top, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful when I'm turning. It brakes really nice too. Now if I switch this over, I'll show you to the 50-50 on the throttle. You'll see it. Now it's going forward because it moves the throttle back and gives it gas, and there's no throttle trim on this, so I don't see how that's going to be able to be used on this particular version. Now on the brushless version of this, that might be easier to use. I don't know if it has, it might have a throttle trim on that particular one, or something you can adjust on the brushless ESC, but it doesn't appear to work on this one. Now if I take these turns at full speed, I am going to roll immediately, and that's due to the high center of gravity. But you got good clearance with it, so you're not going to get stuck in the grass nearly as easily. I'm just babying it there a little bit as I turn it around. But overall, I'm impressed by this car a lot for the price. And there we rolled it, and that'll look kind of cool on the footage. Let's see if the camera stayed in place. And it did. Just kind of readjust it a little bit. Not overly worried, but that'll probably look kind of cool on the footage here you're seeing. So I ran this with my daughter, and she was running my WL Toys A333 two-wheel drive truck, and that has a smaller lithium-ion battery, but the same size motor. And even though this is four-wheel drive, this was way faster. And she went through 2 batteries. I had a smaller compatible battery, like an 800 milliamp, and then I think I had 1,000. And she ran through both. And I was still going, though I was just about to go to dead. So to show you the drive time, this one gets a considerably longer drive time than some of the comparable cars that are even two-wheel drive with the same size motor and not as fast. I mean, this car was probably 7-8 miles an hour faster than the WL Toys. We raced and it wasn't very close. So really, like I would say that the biggest complaint I'd have, on this buggy is it just tends to roll over pretty easy. And that's to be expected with the high center of gravity. But it's a really good off-road buggy with a lot of power. I've only got maybe half throttle there. Whoa! And there it rolled over. And that may have scuffed up the camera some, but as long as it doesn't hit the lens, we should be okay. And it did scuff the front of the Q6 camera up a decent amount there. But it looks like the lens is okay. That was my biggest concern, but I really could not find a spot to put it inside the cabin without it just falling right out. I really would have had to come up with the system to do that with. The Q6 is a nice hardy camera, so I'm not too worried. It's a really good camera made by Hawkeye. Same as this 8S that I'm using on my head to record this, but it doesn't have any kind of case with it. Otherwise I'd have it in a case so that it couldn't get damaged, because I'm certainly not worried about any audio from it. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can go ahead and pull it out here and stop recording. And now I drive a little bit now. We got enough onboard footage, and now I can drive it a little bit, give it a little better run now, and not worry about damaging my camera. Like I said, it does roll over easy. That's the biggest con that I can find with the car. I guess the other thing might be that it does require taking off a lot of hex screws to get inside to do any kind of adjusting the slipper clutch or gearbox work in the inside. Well, really more the access to the motor and receiver, ESC. And this 50-50 throttle on the receiver is a little goofy, with which it doesn't allow you to limit the top speed because it just wants to go forward. There's no throttle trim. But you typically don't need throttle trim on these cars, so that might be why they didn't include it. But it makes that switch, not work properly. See, it brakes really good. Let's show you that again. Now, if you go backwards, I'll do it now with the camera. If you back it up and then go forward, you can get it to brake, ride a nice wheel or even flip up on its back. So let's try that. It'll just slowly flip over. So, I mean, you can do pretty cool little tricks with it, but you're not going to really be able to ride a wheelie very easily because it just flips over or it goes up on its back wheel. As far as I can tell, that back wheel is just a spare one. It's fully functional if you needed to. If somehow you damaged the wheel, you could certainly use that spare on the back just like a real buggy. So. Kind of go full speed here. I'll see it flew. Oh, and there it made back on its wheels. I always advise on these kind of cars, these shocks are not oil filled, to kind of jump at an angle. You try to jump it straight on, it's going to flip and roll. No doubt you could, I didn't mention it earlier, you could put oil filled shocks on this. I think that would certainly help some with the bouncing springiness of it. Anytime you can go oil filled, you're going to get a better suspension. Help with the jumps too. Oh, I think that shows enough of what this guy can do. Overall, really cool car. Really well built with a lot of nice parts. So for the price, I highly recommend this. So stay tuned for more videos and be sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and have a good day, and be sure to stay tuned for some of the stuff I got coming. I got a really giant 1/8 scale monster truck that I'll be reviewing. It's amphibious, and I'm going to try to broadcast the solar eclipse on my channel because I live within southern Illinois here, where we're going to have complete totality. So assuming it's a little better than today, I'm going to try to broadcast that. Not related to drones, but I think it's something a lot of people are going to want to see, so make sure you check that out if I can get that set up. So have a good day, and thanks a lot for watching.
The power of the dark side.